welcome back to Policing TV. I'm with Gary Botterill here in Fareham. Gary Botterill, the founder of Service Dogs UK. And in this part two, Gary, I'm keen to explore the working relationship that you have with the UK Police Wellbeing organisation, Oscar Kilo, and the offshoot, if I can describe it as that, of Oscar Kilo Dogs, where tell us how your involvement in Oscar Kilo Dogs came about.
Well, I've been working with Oscar Kilo for a period of time in various different ways, and we've been sort of working together in different areas. I did some work with the Backup Buddy and the Sleep Project, which they were interested in. I got to know the leads of Oscar Kilo, Andy Rhodes and Ian Hesketh, and they were interested in Service Dogs UK and the work that I did with dogs, and we were looking at ways in which we could introduce some sort of well-being dog into forces. And there'd already been a couple of forces of one or two dogs which they call various things, therapy dogs or whatever, and what we wanted to do is actually take that and put it on a different footing, so it's on a national footing with accreditation and standards, and make it something that where we could have a network where people could share the benefits of having well-being dogs at work.
So the work that you'd done, the research paper that you'd put together as a result of the Churchill Fellowship, had come to the attention, I think, of Dr. Ian Hesketh in Oscar Kilo, and subsequently to the then Chief Constable of Lancashire Constabulary, Andy Rhodes, who, although he's no longer Chief at Lancashire, he still leads the Oscar Kilo programme in the UK. So it came to their attention. You got a phone call or similar from Ian or Andy, and they said to you words to the effect of, what can we do that makes use of welfare dogs? I think is a better expression than therapy dogs. I'm not sure, but I'm taking your lead from a little earlier. They said to you, what can we do with this? And
yeah, in actual fact, Ian actually came down to a training session and saw what we were doing, and was very keen to get us on board. And he gave me the opportunity to put together what is now OK9, which is a network of really vibrant, enthusiastic, mental health and well-being orientated people who happen to have a very sociable animal that loves all that fuss and attention. So we've now got a really good network of people who are really well motivated to supply help and the opportunity for people to talk about what they've been going through, and to listen empathetically and signpost them to help should they need it.
So let's come on in more detail as to what the dogs and the handlers provide. Before we get there, your Service Dogs UK, as we discussed in the first video, covers elements of the south of England, growing but broadly southern England.
Yeah.
Oscar Kilo is a national programme. You now take the lead for Oscar Kilo on Oscar Kilo 9 or OK9. How does that work? Because your organisation is, I use the term rather loosely, just in the south coast, and Oscar Kilo 9 is a national programme.
Yeah, definitely. Oscar Kilo 9 is national, and the way that works is we provide the framework for any police forces in the UK to join us, and when they do, we help them get set up. We provide them with risk assessments, service level agreements, and all the structure that they need to get their own scheme up and running. And once they get started, we will help with getting them certificates, the dog jackets, all the other bits and pieces that they need, and also give them all the help and advice and guidance they need to do it safely, effectively, without alienating anybody, making sure that nobody is put out as a result of a dog coming into an environment. So we've got all the safety and the framework to make sure that happens in a way that is conducive to all.
Now, do the dogs, are the welfare dogs all owned by the handler that brings them along, or is there some other network, other way of achieving this?
Yeah, so we provide the framework, and the framework allows for forces, if they want to employ 1 or 2 people to do the wellbeing dog offering, they can, and there's a couple of forces that have chosen to do it that way, but the majority of forces, it's a case of they look at their volunteer base, they look at people who are potentially already doing a trim, mental health first aid or a peer support role, and then they add the element of the dog to that. Sometimes they will advertise for people based on their desire to help colleagues, and then if they happen to have a dog, then they will potentially be suitable for the role.
So I instinctively can't imagine you're short of volunteers to provide this. The but is you need to make sure that they're the right people, the right dog, able to provide the right sort of support services.
Yeah, absolutely. It is not, I can't emphasise this enough, it is not bring your dog to work day. We do not do that. We've got a booking system. Every force will have a booking system. They will have to request through a booking form, and they will have to check that there's nobody with any phobias or allergies that are going to be adversely affected by having the dog there. And that's just us making sure that the whole thing is delivered correctly, and that everybody benefits.
And is it now, with Oscar Kilo 9, pretty much national coverage across England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, or are there gaps in the provision?
Yeah, we have got 1 or 2 gaps, 1 or 2 forces that haven't signed up. We're talking, at the moment I'm talking to 3 forces who are keen to get involved, and they just have to go through the senior leadership teams and to get it over the line. But we're getting there, and I think, you know, the goal for us is that every UK police force will have an element of OK9 in their force. We've actually gone a little bit wider than the original scope, and through the Blue Light Card Foundation, they've helped to fund other services such as ambulance service and the fire service, and we've got several of either of those services on our OK9 books as well. Because
of course, although we're filming this for Policing TV, Service Dogs UK provides a service not just in policing but across emergency services and across the armed forces. So it is more extensive even than the police service itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So Service Dogs UK, you know, they are for veteran. We call our blue light personnel, we call them veterans as well. And we support them all, from all the emergency services plus RLLI and Coast Guard, etc., etc. So and it's really good that through the Blue Light Card Foundation, the National Police Wellbeing Service is able to support our colleagues in green and our colleagues in red as well.
Well, we're going shortly to film a further third video looking at the future. Just before we do so, I'd like to acknowledge, as I did in the first video, give you the opportunity to talk about support to Service Dogs UK, how those that are interested in supporting you as a charity and or seeking the services that you provide how do they get in touch?
Yeah, please get in touch with us at Service Dogs UK. We've got a get in touch at servicedogsuk.org, and we will get back to you really quickly. We'll be grateful for any help or support you can give. And as I said earlier, you know, we do struggle to look after the emergency services veterans, not so much with the military now, but more so with the emergency services, who are rapidly overtaking our military veterans as far as the need is concerned.
I will give a small nod to Altia, who, as Policing TV's channel sponsors, put us in touch with you initially and suggested that I come and film with you. So Altia already good supporters of Service Dogs UK. There's always scope for many more. So on that, let's close this second video, Gary, and we'll shortly record a third video looking at the future.
Brilliant. Thank you, Bernard.